Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tom Burkhart from Car Revs Daily. We're in the 2015 GMC Yukon Denali XL today. Get some quick drive footage in. The Yukon Denali is awesome. It's great. I've been driving around this week feeling like Tony Soprano. Just really loving the ride and exploring a lot of its features. This thing is like a battleship. There's, tons of controls, but all have a purpose and are there for a reason, of course. The Yukon Denali XL for 2015 is updated with a new transmission, so that's the first thing we're going to talk about is this 8-speed automatic transmission. And then the second thing is the ride quality and a great way to improve it for current Denali owners and people who are about to buy one. So first things first, we have a brand new 8-speed automatic for 2015 in the Yukon Denali. It is standard on this vehicle and improves the sprint pace. The top line stats, of course, moving from a 6-speed to an 8-speed automatic, are that it improves mile per gallon efficiency on the EPA's cycles by about 1 mile per gallon for most of the body styles. But not actually this particular Yukon XL four-wheel drive that we're in today. So we are in 4-high, by the way. So it keeps the same economy figures for that truck, but in real-world driving, it's more efficient. And next big improvement, of course, is acceleration. Sprint times are significantly quicker. I estimate by at least a half a second. We are running a 6.2 liter Ecotec 3 V8 with 420 horsepower and 460 foot-pounds of torque. So the Yukon has always been, really, really fun and really speedy, particularly in this 2015 generation. But a shorter first gear and a taller 8th gear and 7th gear, of course, for this transmission are pretty revolutionary. I mean, it doesn't change the core appeal of the truck for most buyers who are seeking, the utility, prestige, go anywhere ability, off-road, towing, fill in the blank, all the uses for a Denali XL. But for people who also like to, enjoy driving like aggressively enthusiastic drivers, I think it does make a big difference. It's really nice. As you can see there, I mean, the whole kickdown character of the engine, and it's revving me out to 5,900 RPM, right to the red line. The whole kickdown character of the engine and transmission combination has long been like a defining trait of the Suburban since the venerable 3-speed automatics ran in the 70s and 80s. And anytime you would hit the gas and have it could result in a monstrous kickdown where the car would suddenly be charging forward in like first gear at 20 or 30 miles an hour, making a big noise and a big grunt, and it's a big part of the core appeal. And that was even the case with this engine and transmission in 6-speed guys. But now that we're up to 8 speeds, it really is a very different and more finely tuned drive experience. You have a lot more control, I guess, in that big downshift moment. I mean, whether you want it to just kick down like 1 or 2 gears, which is like a quarter to half throttle depression, and then if you put it down to if you give it the full beans, of course, it's going to kick down as much as it can, and that's often 3 or 4 gears deep, which is pretty sweet. This is the same, in GM code speak, this is the 8L90 automatic, and this transmission was developed specifically for the Corvette and the Corvette Z06 so that it could develop or be able to handle a ton of an absolutely obscene amount of torque. The max is 1,000 Newton meters, I think, which converts to, I think, like 783 max foot-pounds of torque is what this engine can handle. So that's pretty bananas. I mean, this is a really like a race car transmission, and the Corvette teams have gotten the upshifts on full throttle to be quicker than a Porsche DSG, or so they claim. So that's pretty promising because this transmission is like drop-in, ready to go for the Yukon Denali XL. It really is just a difference in transmission programming, of course, and then the various performance modes that the Corvette employs that are not available on the Denali XL. Regretfully, I wish they were. I've been looking for a sport mode in this car for most of the time that I've been driving it, just because it would be really nice to have it just have some kind of more playful mode that you can turn on and off just for fun. Although that being said, the transmission algorithm is, you know, very, very adaptive and learns and combines its thinking processes with the magneto-rheological dampers, and you know, when the truck is being driven hard, it knows it, so it just sort of makes all those changes automatically. But you know, who doesn't love buttons? And obviously, if you're getting the Denali XL, you're gonna love buttons. We have active cruise control, power-operated pedals, great seats, really, really comfortable. Nice, really good range of seat adjustment. I wish the steering wheel came out farther than it does, but that's okay. It's all power operated. It's an absolutely amazing experience inside the truck. And you still, of course, get really amazing. You get to enjoy that V8's bellow. This is one of the best V8s in the world. So you really, when you want to hear it, you do. So that's really pleasant and an awesome trait of the engine in these K2XX SUVs. So the Denali XL, or excuse me, the Yukons and the Yukon Denali, as well as the Escalade, all the big trucks with the 6.2 liter V8 engine do come with this 8-speed automatic transmission. And that's actually a really interesting point of differentiation this year versus the Suburban LTZ. So, you know, which is like really, really posh. We're just driving around Kiowa Island, South Carolina, and it's like lousy with Escalades and QX80s and Suburbans and all that stuff. But you know, so if you needed an extra bit of motivation to go up to the Denali range from Chevrolet, then this transmission is a really, really good argument piece for you. So those sprint times that we mentioned as being quicker, it's sort of like a rough ballpark. The truck feels extremely rapid. Empty like we are now, just a driver inside. It absolutely hauls ass. I didn't know whether to take it like off-roading or to take it to like a timed drag strip. So it has that fun dichotomy of its character with this amazing engine. But the actual like on-paper sprint times range from about 6.5 seconds to about 7 seconds in most of the estimates. That's for the short standard Yukon and Yukon Denali, and then for the XL it's, you know, like 0.3 seconds slower, and those times are generally like lopped by about a half a second by this new transmission. So that's really, really promising. Reading about the transmission itself is pretty fascinating. It actually has like some like it has a bunch of new improvements and upgrades in addition to like just really great shift logic, all of the computer systems management. The hardware is actually dramatically upgraded too, with some kind of like silicone reservoirs and a new torque converter that is better at actually sending power directly to the axle versus having it spun away. And all that results in sort of this dynamic new prowess for the Yukon Denali. So, love it, love the engine, love the transmission, love the way it drives. It's really fantastic. We are in, this is a loaded model right now, so we have the 22-inch wheels, and that is a big improvement in terms of the handling. But that's a nice segue there, Tom. But to the next part of our discussion. So, okay, so let's talk transmission. Okay, oh, you got me. Sorry. Okay, let's talk suspension. So, suspension now. The ride and handling of the K2XX generation of SUVs, be that Tahoe, Suburban, Escalade, or Yukon, has been widely noted as extremely. It's a hard ride. It's hard, and people notice it and they don't love it. So that was the first thing I noticed. Like when I got to drive some of these trucks for the first time, and as like press fleet vehicles, I mean they're pretty new. This thing has, I think, like 2,000 miles on it or something. So big shock revelation. It's all about tire pressure. I mean, you really, it's something that is like second. It's like, I don't know. It's like third down the list of things that you might be really affecting the ride quality. You would initially expect that this is just how it was tuned or that it's in some sort of mode, but that's not really the case. Okay, so these trucks ship with, I'm told, about 68 PSI or something in the tires, so that they're extremely, extremely full, and don't have any kind of distortion when the trucks are clamped down to giant like semi 18-wheelers. So they pump the tires way up, and then but when they're about to go to actual delivery, that they obviously match the tire level, match the pressure levels, and bring them down significantly from 68. So this truck, when we got in, it was at like 41 all around. We have a display here that we can toggle through and see all the individual tire pressures. We're at like 35, and one is at 34 for right now. So 35 and 34, I mean, that's about half of what some people are driving around in Tahoes and Yukons with the tire pressures at. So obviously with the tire pressure down to its and the pressure ratings are on the driver's door themselves.
There we go.
Nice. Pressure ratings are on the driver's door for all the different wheel and tire combinations for the vehicle. So we just checked that for this particular truck, and it comes up at 35 all around. So that's what we lowered the over a few series of piecing out some air out of the tires. We took it down to that level there, and it's interesting. I think it's interesting to note this for two reasons. The first one is most important. Okay, the ride quality with the tire pressures set how they're supposed to be is fantastic. There's none of that like little like jittery. When the tires are overinflated, it's just like it's jittery and pittery, and it feels extremely unusual and like on its tippy toes sort of. Whereas with the proper tire pressures, it really is a serene and peaceful beast going down the road. I mean, there is no sort of disruptions whatsoever. We'll do another little launch here. We've switched it from 4 high to just automatic. We have traction control off. So the ride is so much better with the tires set properly. And it's so important to note because the displays, obviously all new vehicles have these tire pressure monitoring systems by law, but they do not signal like overinflation as far as I know, or at least in this car, 40 plus PSI was not out of its range that it was going to let you know that was an issue. It of course will like go cuckoo bananas if you're under, if it thinks you're under tire pressures, as many people have experienced, but it doesn't let you know for an overage. So it's really critical that people adjust those tire pressures to try to achieve the ride and handling that GM and GMC engineers were going for when they made these trucks. I mean, it's really important. It's like a night and day change. So it's an amazing vehicle. You'll feel like a boss. Tony Soprano here driving around in the tropics in his afterlife somehow. Loving the truck. The technology is fantastic. Love little surprise and delight features, including like that when you turn on the cruise control button, you don't have to like keep turning it off and on each time. It just stays on and is ready to engage the next time you drive the truck. I mean, it's really just like little things like that are very, very pleasant and enjoyable. So in addition to all that, you have fantastic roominess. One of the poshest like infotainment and backseat setups in the world. I mean, the console back there is like ridiculous. It looks like a luxury car from the 90s in terms of how many controls are available for the second and third row passengers, for media, climate, and a variety of other accoutrements. It's pretty fun. This car has a bench seat in back. I'd go for the buckets, but otherwise, love the truck. Absolutely adore it. It's a fantastic machine, and there's a reason it's so popular, and probably going to become even more popular soon with iterations like this. As long as people get their tire pressures down, suspension and transmission talk. See you later.